It was a good start. I like having a hard schedule to start the season, challenge ourselves against some of the best teams in the country. I thought we handled the Notre Dame challenge very well. We handled playing in front of 5,000 fans, having a few calls go against us in the third period, them tying us up late. All those things we handled very well, and then still responded with a really good last 12, 13 minutes to win that game. So that was good. Then the Minnesota game, I thought we were a little tentative at first against a team like their caliber, but I did like how we gave ourselves a chance late. It's not a moral victory or anything of that stature, but it was 2-0 with 10, 11 minutes to go in the game, something like that. We had some good looks late in the second, early in the third. They certainly outplayed us, but I thought we did some good things in giving ourselves a chance to beat them. And at the same time, I don't think we were that good in that game. So I think that's a good sign that we just played a solid game, not a great game, and still gave ourselves an opportunity against the number one team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're not in the moral victories game, but splitting in a situation like that, is that a good situation for the team moving forward?
Yeah, I guess I don't really look at a weekend going into it and say, geez, if we could split, that'd be good or anything like that. I think looking back at it, you'd say, yeah, you go on the road against two teams like that, and you split, you play pretty well. We did some good things, and you want to build off that. You want to learn from it. I think what we learned in the Minnesota game is that we cannot be a passive team. We played a good systematic game, but we weren't quite as aggressive from a physical nature, from a puck battle nature as I'd like us to be. And I think that Minnesota had the upper hand in possession because of that. But we did some good things, and we'll learn from it and get better.
Talking about Denver, I think the storylines there are pretty obvious. You know Jim really well, and your history with Denver. What are your thoughts on a personal level before we talk about the team heading out there for 2 games?
Well, I think it's always good to go back and see friends, and I have good memories there. But this is my program now. This is where my heart is. This is where my family is. These guys are my guys, and so I'm RPI through and through. So. But there's good memories there, certainly. Obviously, I feel very fortunate to have been part of 2 national championships there. But probably more important than anything in terms of Denver was the people. The young men that I had the opportunity to coach, the relationships I had with George Kozdecki and Steve Miller, the other coaches. And a lot of that's changed. Those players aren't there. Those coaches aren't there anymore. And so there's not as much of that sentimentality as there would be otherwise. But I certainly have good memories, and our staff, obviously, Brian Vines, my assistant coach, is a Denver alum, a Denver captain. Andy Thomas, our operations coordinator, is a Denver captain. So there certainly is some ties in that regard also.
How close are you to Jim still?
Oh, Jim and I talk all the time.
Yeah,
Jim and I talk all the time. Jim's a good friend of mine. I'm very proud of him, very appreciative of what he helped do here when his years with RPI, and very proud of what he's done in Dubuque and in Denver since he left here. And other than when we're playing them or when they're playing Ferris State, my alma mater, I'm certainly rooting for the Pioneers.
You mentioned it's a new regime, and it's his second year there. What do you know about this edition of the team? I mean, they come in top 20.
Yeah, they're good. I mean, Denver's a consistent top 20 program. What George did out there and the program he built was special, and so you're going to face a really good team when you play out there. It's going to be a good challenge for us again. Now this will be 4 games in a row against top 15, top 20 caliber teams. What they look like on video is they look like they have an elite D-core, probably very similar to Minnesota's D-core. Their forwards are good, maybe not quite as deep as Minnesota's, but very good. Goaltending is a question mark. Not that they're not talented. I think both their goalies are very talented. They're unproven at the level. So I like their team. I think their D-core is their great strength, and they're going to present many challenges with how offensive their defensemen are.
Being that it's their opener and you guys have 2 games under your belt, how does that factor in this weekend?
I think it's a wash. Yeah. I think it's nice to have a couple games against the caliber of teams we played to get a few of the kinks out and to improve upon a few things. And then at the other point, it's probably their level of excitement because it's the opener. So, I think that's a wash. I don't think it's an advantage either way.
You guys still going to go with Kasdorf both nights here? Or?
I make those decisions one day at a time.
Yeah.
I try not to, I think, you start making 10-game plans or 5-year plans or whatever it is, I think usually those get disrupted pretty quickly. I have a plan for what I want our season to look like, but at the same point in time, I want to stay in the here and now and make sure I'm making the proper evaluations and put our team in the best position to win.
There's always things to improve on, and I think that we saw that this weekend. Friday night, we stuck to our game plan for the full 60 minutes, and we ended up coming out on the good side. Sunday, we played a little tentative as a group, as a unit, and we paid the price for that. We played well, but obviously we could have played a lot better. And had we played like we did Friday night, I think we would have had a more positive result coming out of it.
Did you learn a lot about your team entering the season this way, the way you guys, with the competition and the location? And all
Yeah,
that
absolutely. I think we want to play against the best teams at all times, obviously, just to test ourselves and show that we're a much better team than people think we are. But yeah, absolutely.
What did you like most about the performances from your squad this weekend?
I think we played a real strong defensive game overall. We're still learning some systems as a team, but at the same time right now, I think we're in a good position to continue to learn and develop chemistry with each other.
I know you're packing back up and heading back across the country this weekend to play Denver. What are your thoughts on another 2-game road swing and a plane flight and all that stuff back to back?
It's always fun to go on the road early in the season. Builds camaraderie between everyone. A lot of us have played juniors before where the travel has been pretty bad. Spent a lot of time in the bus, so it's really not too much to complain about there. Everyone has to do it, so it's fun. It's hockey,
Denver's another team that's top 20, heading in with high expectations. What do you know about them, and what about this challenge this weekend with this team?
Oh, I know they're a very good team. They always have a good team. Coach Montgomery coached me in juniors. He recruited me to come here actually, and he's going to have his guys ready as he probably always does. They have great players, and we're looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, you mentioned the personal ties. Coach obviously has strong ties to Denver, and you do with Coach Montgomery. Talk about that connection.
Oh, it's funny. It's always fun playing against either coaches or players who you've played with or against in the past. Everyone knows each other because the hockey community is such a tight group. But it's always fun to play against a friend of yours. Let's put it that way.
Is it tough, or does it make it more sweet when you beat them?
Oh, it makes it that much better. Coming out victorious, and obviously you want to beat your friend, but at the same time afterwards, you're still gonna be friends afterwards. It's not gonna be any hard feelings.
Do you feel like his system because you played for him and you're familiar with him, or do you think it's different with a different guy?
It's probably different. It's junior hockey and college hockey is two different things, but at the same time, it's still hockey, so you still want to have fun.
What do you think you guys need to do to win out there this weekend?
We need to stick to our system just like we did on last Friday night. Play full 60 as a team, and play hard and not take a shift off.